The impulse to chase feels as natural as breathing. When we see something, we desire a connection, a validation, a promise of happiness. Our instinct is to pursue it with all our energy. We operate on a simple, seemingly logical equation. More effort equals greater reward. If we text more, plan more, and make our interest undeniably clear, then surely the other person will see our value and reciprocate. Yet, this is where the universe presents us with a cruel irony. The very force we apply to draw someone closer functions instead as a repellent, pushing them away with a strength that seems to defy logic. This isn't a flaw in the universe's design. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of human attraction. The core of the issue is that chasing is never just about the actions themselves. It's about the silent, subconscious energy that radiates from those actions. Every overly eager text, every time you clear your schedule for someone who hasn't confirmed, every moment spent dissecting their last message for hidden meaning. These are not just behaviors. They are carriers of a specific frequency, and that frequency broadcasts a message of lack. It says, "My world is not complete without you in it." It communicates, "Your attention is more valuable than my own peace of mind." This creates an immediate and uncomfortable power imbalance. The person being chased feels the weight of this expectation, even if they can't articulate it. They feel they are being asked to be a source of validation, to fill a cup that has a hole in the bottom. This is an overwhelming responsibility, and the most common human response to such pressure is to create distance. It's crucial to understand that this reaction is rarely a conscious decision to be cruel. It's a deep-seated psychological response. People are intrinsically drawn to confidence and self-sufficiency. They are attracted to those who possess a sense of inner stability, because that stability suggests a partner who can contribute to a relationship from a place of abundance, not need. When you chase, you present the opposite, a portrait of desperation. Your energy becomes needy, and needy energy is fundamentally unattractive because it feels draining. It asks for a withdrawal from the other person's emotional bank account without making a deposit of genuine, independent strength. Think of it not as a magnet, but as a dance. If one person is clinging too tightly, leaning their entire weight on their partner and trying to control every step, the dance becomes awkward, strained, and ultimately, something you want to escape. The freedom and beauty of the dance come from the balance between connection and autonomy, partner maintaining their own center while moving in harmony with the other. Chasing is the equivalent of abandoning your own center and trying to occupy your partner's space. It disrupts the natural rhythm and makes genuine connection impossible. The painful truth is that the reward we seek, genuine, mutual affection, cannot be captured by force. It can only be invited by creating an environment where it can grow naturally. And that environment is one where you are so fully engaged in your own life that you are not desperately waiting for someone else to make it begin. The natural response to the failure of chasing is often to double down, to try harder with more sophisticated tactics. We might attempt to play it cool, to manufacture mystery, or to strategically delay responses. But this is merely chasing in disguise. It's still an attempt to control an outcome, just with a different set of maneuvers. The true turning point, the profound shift that changes everything, is not a new strategy, but a fundamental release. It is the move from chasing to what can best be described as detachment. This word is often misunderstood. It conjures images of coldness, indifference, or giving up. But true detachment, in the sense of creating magnetic attraction, is none of these things. It is not the absence of care. It is the absence of clinging. It is not a wall you build around your heart, but a spaciousness you create within your life. To grasp this, consider the simple, powerful metaphor of holding water. If you are desperate to keep it, you clench your hand into a tight fist. The result is the very opposite of what you intend. The water is forced out. Your effort to possess it directly causes you to lose it. Now imagine relaxing your hand. You open your palm, creating a gentle, receptive cup. The water remains. It is held not by force, but by allowing. This is the essence of detachment. It is the transition from a clenched fist to an open hand. In the context of human connection, the water is the other person's genuine interest, affection, and presence. The more you squeeze, the more you try to possess and control their role in your life. The more you guarantee their departure. But when you relax your grip, when you create a life so full and accepting that their presence is a welcome addition, not a necessary salvation, you create the conditions where they can truly stay. This shift is first and foremost an internal one. A radical change in your personal narrative. The mindset of the chaser is, I will be okay only if they choose me. My happiness and validation are dependent on this outcome. This places an immense burden on both you and the other person. Detachment, however, is the conscious declaration. I am working to become whole and complete on my own. My sense of worth is an inside job. Whether this person chooses to be part of my journey or not, I am committed to my own well-being. This is not a bluff or an affirmation you repeat without feeling it. It is a deep foundational commitment to yourself. It exudes a quiet strength and self-assurance that is incredibly magnetic because it is so rare. People are drawn to this stability like a ship to a lighthouse. It signals safety, strength, and a self-contained power that does not need to drain from others. The most remarkable, almost paradoxical effect of this shift is that it creates a vacuum of pursuit. When you are constantly chasing, you leave no room for the other person to move toward you. You have filled all the space with your own energy, your own needs, your own actions. The moment you stop and you redirect that torrent of energy back into your own world, into your passions, your friendships, your growth as silence falls. And in that silence, something new becomes possible. The other person, who previously felt the constant pressure of your advance, suddenly notices the absence. They are no longer being pushed. They are given the freedom to choose. And it is in that freedom that genuine curiosity is born. They begin to wonder what you are doing, who you are becoming without them. They feel the change in your energy, and they are compelled to investigate it. The dynamic flips not because you have manipulated them, but because you have fundamentally changed the composition of the connection. You are no longer a source of pressure, but a source of intrigue. This is the power of detachment. It is the art of letting go of the need to control the river, so that you can finally flow with it, and in doing so, become a destination others willingly swim toward. The concept of being the star of your own movie is more than a catchy phrase. It is a fundamental shift in identity and agency that lies at the heart of becoming a magnetic individual. To understand this, you must first conduct an honest audit of your current narrative. Whose story are you primarily living in? When you are caught in the cycle of chasing, you have effectively handed over the director's chair and the lead role to someone else. You have become a supporting character, or even an extra, in their storyline. Your actions are reactive. You wait for their call. You analyze their scripts, their texts, and social media posts, and you schedule your life around their availability. Your entire emotional arc becomes dependent on their choices. A good interaction sends your character into euphoria. Perceived slight plunges you into despair. This is a draining and powerless way to live, and it is transparently obvious to the very person you are trying to impress. Stepping into the lead role is a conscious act of reclamation. It is the decision to take back the director's chair, to grab the script, and to refocus the camera squarely on yourself. This means the central plot of your life is no longer, how do I win this person over? But how do I become the most vibrant, fulfilled, and authentic version of myself? The storyline shifts from a romance or a pursuit to an adventure or a hero's journey, where the primary conflict is your own growth and the primary goal is your own self-actualization. This is not an act of selfishness, but of self-possession. It is the understanding that you are the only constant character in your entire life, and therefore, your development is the most important project you will ever undertake. What does this look like in the day-to-day? It looks like action, not reaction. It means the camera follows you to the gym not because you want to look good for someone else, but because you are a character who values strength and vitality. It follows you to the library, to the workshop, to the quiet corner where you are building a business or mastering a skill. It lingers on you laughing with your friends, fully present because your character is defined by rich, genuine relationships. It captures you pursuing a hobby with passion, not as a performance to be posted online, but because your character is inherently curious and engaged with life. You are no longer waiting for an invitation to someone else's party. You are busy building your own festival. This shift is magnetic for a reason rooted in human psychology. People are drawn to those who have a strong sense of purpose and direction. When you are the star of your own movie, you radiate a sense of purpose, your own purpose. You are not a vacant lot waiting for someone to build upon you. You are a fascinating, well-designed structure with your own architecture, and people are naturally curious to come inside. You become a source of energy rather than a drain on it. The person you were once chasing will inevitably notice this transformation. They will see that you are no longer orbiting their world. You are the center of your own solar system, with its own gravity. They will sense that your validation now comes from within, and this makes your attention more valuable and authentic. They are no longer being pursued by a desperate fan, but are being observed by a fellow lead actor. And in the world of connection equals attract. By refusing to be an extra in anyone else's story, you become the one others want a starring role alongside. The spotlight you shine on your own life becomes the very thing that illuminates you for others to see. The journey from chasing to attracting ultimately leads inward, to the very bedrock of your identity, your sense of self-worth. This is the silent, invisible force that governs all your interactions. The compulsion to chase is never truly about the other person. It is a symptom of an internal fracture, a place where you do not fully believe in your own inherent value. It is an attempt to outsource a job that can only be done from within. You are seeking an external confirmation to quiet an internal question. And this dynamic is destined to fail because it places the solution to an internal problem in the hands of an external, uncontrollable variable. Imagine a scale of self-worth, ranging from 1 to 10. This isn't a measure of your accomplishments, your looks, or your social status, but a deep, subconscious assessment of your own deservedness of love, respect, and happiness. When you see yourself as a 5, feeling a sense of inadequacy, of not being quite enough, but you perceive the person you desire as a 9. Perched on a pedestal of your own making, you create a fundamental power gap. This gap is not just a mathematical difference. It is an energetic chasm that you feel acutely. It manifests as insecurity, anxiety, and the need to prove your worth. You try to bridge this gap through effort, through constant contact, grand gestures, and relentless approval seeking. But this effort is transparent. It screams of your own perceived inferiority, and that very energy is what repels. No one can assign you a value higher than the one you have assigned yourself. They will always meet you at the level of your own self-estimation. The transformative work, therefore, is not about learning new tricks to attract a 9. It is about doing the profound internal labor to raise your own self-perception to a 10. This is the cultivation of an abundance mindset, a scarcity mindset. The fuel of chasing whispers, "This is my only chance. If I lose this person, I will never find connection again. I must secure this specific outcome to be happy." This mentality creates desperation and blinds you to the vastness of life's possibilities. The abundance mindset, in contrast, is a deep-seated knowing. It knows that your worth is non-negotiable and constant, regardless of any single person's recognition of it. It understands that there is no such thing as one perfect person, but rather an abundance of potential for meaningful connection with people who are aligned with the authentic. You becoming a 10 is not an act of arrogance. It is an act of acceptance. It is the quiet acknowledgement of your own wholeness. It is embracing your flaws as part of your unique texture, your past as part of your wisdom, and your strengths as your genuine gifts. When you operate from this place, you close the power gap. You no longer approach interactions as a petitioner seeking validation from a superior, but as a whole person seeking to connect with an equal. Your energy shifts from "please choose me" to "I am interested to see if we are a good fit." This is a game-changing distinction. It allows you to be authentic, to set boundaries without fear, and to walk away from situations that do not honor your value. Ironically, it is this very ability to walk away, this demonstrated lack of neediness, that becomes your greatest asset in attraction. When you stop needing someone to complete you, you become a person others want to partner with, not out of pity or obligation, but out of genuine desire for the strength and completeness you radiate. Your validated self becomes the most magnetic force imaginable. Understanding the philosophy is essential. But philosophy without action is merely an interesting thought. The transition from a chasing mindset to a magnetic one requires deliberate daily practice. It's about building new mental and behavioral muscles until they become your natural default. This is not a one-time event, but a process of rewiring, and it begins with concrete, actionable steps that translate the grand concepts of self-worth and detachment into the language of everyday life. The following 3 steps are designed to orchestrate that crucial energy shift. Moving you from theory to lived reality, the first and most critical step is to prioritize your world. For too long, your focus has been external, your schedule and mood dictated by the potential availability of another person. This step is about systematically flipping that dynamic. It requires you to actively ask and answer a fundamental question. What genuinely lights me up? What activities make me lose track of time? What passions have I neglected? This is not about creating a busy schedule to distract yourself. It's about a purposeful reinvestment in your own soul. It means literally scheduling time for yourself with the same seriousness you would reserve for an important meeting with someone else. Whether it's committing to a fitness goal, finally taking that cooking class, dedicating an hour each evening to reading or working on a creative project, you are sending a powerful message to your own subconscious. You are declaring through action that your own growth and joy are non-negotiable priorities. The magnetic effect of this is profound. When you are genuinely engaged in building a life you love, you stop emitting signals of neediness. Your conversations change from seeking validation, "What did you do this weekend?" to sharing enthusiasm, "I tried this amazing new hike this weekend." You become a source of interesting energy, rather than a vacuum sucking it up. The second step is to build boundaries, to build respect. A boundary is not a wall. It is a gate that you alone control. It is the clear definition of what you will and will not accept for your most precious resources, your time and emotional energy. When you lack boundaries, you are essentially giving everyone a blank check to withdraw from your account without making a deposit. The practice here is to become the guardian of your own energy. This looks like not being immediately available for someone who only reaches out on their terms. It means not canceling your own plans to accommodate someone who hasn't made the same effort for you. It's about learning to say, either explicitly or through your actions, "My time is valuable, and I choose to spend it with people who respect it." This is not about playing games or being punitive. It is about demonstrating self-respect. People, often unconsciously, treat you exactly how you teach them to treat you. When you show that you value your own time and energy, you compel others to value it as well. This creates a foundation of respect that is far more attractive than the fleeting attention gained through constant availability. The third step is to open up to bigger possibilities. Chasing is born from a mindset of scarcity, the fear that this one person is my only chance. This step is a conscious cognitive shift to abundance. It involves actively redirecting your focus from the single closed door you've been staring at to the vast open field of possibilities behind you. A powerful way to practice this is to stop visualizing a specific person and start visualizing the qualities of the connection you desire. Instead of fantasizing about a future with them, write down or meditate on the feelings you want to experience: mutual respect, easy laughter, intellectual stimulation, emotional safety, shared values. By focusing on the qualities, you detach from the specific outcome and open yourself to recognizing those qualities in a multitude of people. You train your brain to look for alignment rather than obsession. This shift is liberating. It removes the immense pressure from one individual and places you in a state of receptive curiosity about the world. You begin to understand that your goal is not to capture a person, but to become the person who naturally attracts the kind of relationships you seek. And in doing so, you don't just change your love life. You reclaim the authorship of your entire existence.